He was one of the most feared powered hitters of his generation, spending his entire 16-year career with the Boston Red Sox. Hall of Famer Jim Rice is an 8-time All-Star, and striking out was just not part of his repertoire. However, he might want to change that up now, as we are at the Apex Entertainment Center in Marlboro, where Jim and I take our talents to the bowling lanes. Oh, yeah, Jim.
There it is. Got lucky.
Yes.
Buddy. Got luck.
Here goes a long shot, deep left center, and it is out of here for a grand slam. Jim Rice.
Number 14, Jim Rice, played his entire 16-year career for the Boston Red Sox from 1974 to 1989. His offensive numbers and achievements speak for themselves. He's the only player in Major League history to record over 200 hits and 39 or more home runs in 3 consecutive seasons. He was also the AL MVP in 1978.
1-1 pitch, driven to right field. Gibson going back, doesn't have room. It is gone. Second deck for Jim Rice.
In honor of his many accomplishments, the Red Sox retired his number in 2009. The same year, he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Today, Jim Ed stays involved as a longtime member of NESN's Red Sox broadcast and is remembered as one of the greatest sluggers in Boston history.
They want him out again. This time he does wave, and this time he does come out.
All right, I am here with the great Hall of Famer, Mr. Jim Ed Rice. What do you love about the sport of baseball?
When I played, I enjoyed it.
Okay, when
now,
you play. Well, you play because
now
you're good.
it's different. It's too long. I think that the players more involve themselves instead of the team. It's more of playing together and doing the small things to enjoy the game of baseball. Everyone wants to be a hero. You can be a hero by doing the fundamentals. The fundamentals have left the game. The fundamentals are not taught anymore like when I play. And of course, I think you're looking at a different era. When Freddie Lynn and I came up, you're talking about 20, 21. You had Collier, Scrimpps, you had Louis Tiant, you had Bill Lee, Petrocelli, you had Johnny Pesci, you had Don Zimmer, so you had a lot of, Ted Williams around, a lot of the older guys that taught you the fundamentals of the game, and if they told you you're not doing the fundamentals, you're not playing. and that's what it was all about.
You're so cerebral about this game. Like, did you ever think about going into coaching? Like, you know how to. I can see that you could teach it pretty easily.
I was a hitting coach for 6 years, and I'm just going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be honest with you.
Good.
Players are soft now. You can't criticize them. And it's like, well, my dad told me this, my coach told me. Your dad didn't face Nolan Ryan. Your coach didn't face Nolan Ryan. I faced Nolan Ryan. I faced Bob 11. I know, I faced Juan Guidry. I know how these guys are. And that's the way you got to teach them.
Can you believe it's been over 33 years since you retired?
No. It just seemed like, yes, because I still go to the ballpark,
Right.
I'm still with NESN, I'm still around the game of baseball. I was able to have a friend like David Ortiz. I talked to Bogart, I talked to Devers, and I call him my kid half of the time, Mookie. and Jackie was a great kid, and I talked to Benintendi. So we always talked about hitting. And so that was a big part that kept me still in the game, kept me a little more active.
So you're giving free advice now.
Yes, but the thing about it, and what I really enjoyed, that they listen.
Well,
You know,
why wouldn't they?
Some, you don't, they never listen.
Yeah.
And when a person comes and say, hey, I really appreciate what you told me, it works. Or I tried this. And it's like, okay.
3 seasons, consecutive seasons in a row, over 200 hits and more than 39 home runs. Just saying that, you know, he's the only major leaguer to ever do that. So.
But I never thought about it.
I know. You're so modest and humble, so I will say it for him. It's pretty
Thank
awesome. Do you remember 1974 when you and Fred Lynn got the call to kind of come up? What do you remember about that? When you guys got the call to come up to the bigs?
I think I came up before Fred.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really think about it. What I thought about was when we played in AA together. That's when we really got to know each other. And you have a kid, well, we both kids come from USC, and nice guy. But we just we just hit it off. And the thing about it, not only we hit it off, the wives hit it off. Dee Dee and my wife, Corrine. So they hit it off. And so it was just like icing on the cake.
And you and Fred, the Gold Dust twins.
We still call each other that.
You
yeah.
do. Was it kind of like an inner kind of friendship competitiveness between the two of you, kind of to maintain that everybody just loved you two together and
I don't think we
played
were.
off one another?
I don't think we were competitive as far as amongst ourselves. I think we were more into the team than anything else. We complimented the team. I don't think to say, hey, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that.
Right.
No, we didn't do that. Because I think we both enjoyed the game of baseball and we both were brought up the right way.
Coming up, more of my conversation with Red Sox legend Jim Rice and a different kind of balls and strikes as Outside the Fame continues. This episode of Outside the Fame is brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing, your lifetime roofing solution.
There goes one. Forget it. 2-2. Over everything.
Welcome back to Apex Entertainment in Marlborough, Massachusetts, where we continue our conversation with Baseball Hall of Famer Jim Ed Rice, who played with and for some legendary characters in his time with the Red Sox.
Best manager is Don Zimmer, no doubt. No doubt. Don Zimmer. Yeah, Don Zimmer, the best manager. And
What did Don Zimmer do for Jim Rice?
he taught me the game of baseball, but you also got to think about the knowledge. You talk about someone like Johnny Pesky been around. You talk about Ted Williams been around. Skrimska there. And so all those guys played when baseball was baseball. They knew the do's and don'ts. They knew when you were in a slump what you had to do to get out of it. And Zim told Johnny Pesky, he's your problem. You take care of him. And so I would always go and talk to Zim because we had that relationship that when he wanted to borrow money, go to the horses, he always came to me. So I always had extra money. And so we formed a relationship that he used to tell me certain things, and Eddie Yost the same thing, how you could steal signs by watching the shortstop and watching the second baseman, how they were going to pitch you, or watching the way the way the pitcher squeezes his glove for a curveball or open the glove for a fastball. So certain things you picked up. And you watch how the center fielder shaded you. And so just by sitting there listening to how those guys were talking, and that's the way they played the game, that's the way I picked up the game.
When you look back at your 16 years with the Red Sox, what would you say was Jim Rice's greatest accomplishment?
Being able to be a leader, being able to show up every day and want to play. I never took it as a job, and I think some of the guys take it as a job. I never took I just went to the ballpark. I enjoyed myself.
1978, what a fun season to watch you play. Was it as fun for you that year?
It was fun.
AL MVP,
yeah,
and we can talk about all your stats. We don't want to talk about your stats, but it was just a fun year for you. I mean, you did great.
I think I had 3 years. The 3 years that I had 200 hits, hit over 300, 35 home runs, knocked on. I felt like those 3 years could have been 3 MVP years. But quote unquote, it was in a situation where I was told, just wipe your numbers out. The Red Sox was finishing the same place. Yeah, but I may not have had a good season.
Right.
So they were looking at more of what an individual did at that time to help their team.
For the team, I gotcha.
When a slide is for the playoffs. But it wasn't, to me, I think that you look at those 3 years, those 3 years as good as any player that won MVP prior to my years.
All right, since 2003, you have worked for the lovely New England Sports Network as a commentator, analyst. What do you like about that? You've been doing it for a long time now. You're pretty much a pro.
I think I'm in a situation where I can speak my mind. I played the game, and I feel like I owe it to the fans. I don't really, it's not me, I. I feel like that I'm trying to explain the game and hope that I can reach someone and say, hey, why not they're doing the right things? And talk about that. I don't know how much it costs to go to a baseball game right now.
A lot.
See, so what I'm trying to do is that you're an entertainer.
Especially the Red Sox.
Yeah. So you're an entertainer, and these people are paying a lot of money. So entertain them the right way.
Yeah.
And so would you rather for me to tell you, or would you have fans start booing you? Now, if the fans start booing you, you're really going to be in.
And these fans are knowledgeable. They will boo you.
See,
they have
that's
no problem.
what I'm trying to get through. These fans are knowledgeable. And so I'm telling you this. I'm calling you out, but I'm calling you out in a good way.
Right. And also, maybe could you give some of the players maybe some attire advice, because my man is the most best dressed commentator, analyzer, whatever you want. I mean, I just think you look good.
I love clothes. I'm from a family of 9.
Okay,
and
there
so
you go.
I just love clothes. I know I have too many, but I don't buy anything else. My wife told I can't buy any more antique cars, so I buy clothes.
What was it like for you as a commentator to go through the Red Sox teams when they had won the whole thing?
I look at it, and
2004 was like so magical.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But I was part of it because I worked for Nesson. I wasn't a part of it because I was in the clubhouse. I do go in the clubhouse, but I'm not one of the coaches and things like that. But I think by working for them, yes. And I think about being around them, yes. But it's hands-on, no.
Right.
There's one thing about when you win and you work for a ball club or any franchise, you had something to do with it. If you worked there, you had something.
I mean, you get a ring.
Yeah.
So. Next up, bowling time with Red Sox slugger Jim Rice. And we'll hear about number 14's long journey to the Baseball Hall of Fame when Outside the Fame returns right after this. Here I am with the owner of East Coast Metal Roofing, Paul Lucchiera, and we all know about the success of East Coast Metal Roofing here in New England, but Paul has some great news to share that they have expanded. So tell us about that, Paul.
Yeah, we just recently opened in Florida on the West Coast, Fort Myers to be exact, and we're going to cover Tampa all the way down to Naples.
How did that come to fruition where you expanded to Florida? Because it's a little bit far from New England.
Yep, so we have a lot of snowbirds in New England that like to go down to Florida.
Including yourself?
For sure. But we had a hurricane down there, Hurricane Ian, that devastated the Cape Coral, Fort Myers area pretty bad. And it just so happens a lot of New Englanders are down in that region. They started reaching out to us, and it gave us an opportunity to go down and help out.
What about the warranty for everybody in Florida? Same as?
Same warranty, lifetime warranty from our manufacturer. We back it with lifetime workmanship, and the paint system's good for 40 years.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, congratulations on the expansion.
Awesome.
And is there any deals that anybody should know about that's coming up or anything?
So right now we are doing our Winter Works program. We're going to be getting into spring into savings in the near future.
Okay. All right. So just go on to East Coast. What's that? Tell them the website.
You can go to, there's two options, is eastcoastmetalroofing.com or ecmr.com.
Okay. You heard it here first. We are here at the bowling alley. We are at Apex Entertainment in Marlboro. And you've been bowling for quite a while, right? It's kind of like your side passion. Yeah, you used to. Were you ever in a league?
No. We first started, I guess it was in Quincy. It was myself, Cecil Cooper, his wife Octavia, and my wife Corrine. We started bowling and have something to do, because we had a lot, back then we had a lot of day games. And then you didn't have anything to do at night. And so we started bowling. And up here, they said, well, you got to bowl counter pin. We didn't know what they meant counter pin. Back in the South, we had 10 pins. We had a big ball. But I'm a big bowler, big ball guy. My mom and dad used to bowl a lot. A lot. They used to bowl a lot.
Okay, well, how about if we hit the lanes?
Sorry, me.
Let's hit them. All right, here we go. Oh my God. Oh, so close. I want to cry.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, Jim.
Hey!
Got lucky.
Yes.
Buddy.
Got luck.
Is there a strike dance? What do we do?
No.
No dance? I need a little good luck. So I'm going to put on this beautiful jersey to bring me some luck. See, everyone's going to think this is Jim Rice bowling, because...
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not.
There it is. There. Oh!
Jim, you worked. You did it.
See?
Boom.
Always in the middle.
Woo!
Yeah.
Always in the middle. Always in the middle.
No strike dance for you either?
No.
Like nothing?
No. Oh.
Woo!
Figure this thing out now, make it a little hot.
All right, we are moving from 10-pin to candlepin, which Jim and I know nothing about. We've never bowled candlepin in our lives, but Paul here, his dad, was a professional, and he's in the Hall of Fame for candlepin. So we're going to get a little tutorial from our friend Paul.
Biggest advice would be is try and hit that center pin just to the left of the right, and then you got to work it, getting the rest after that. But it's a lot harder. It's a thinner pin, smaller ball. That's why you get 3.
So this game is much harder. As a matter of fact, Paul said that no one has ever gotten a perfect game in candlepin.
Nope, that is true.
These are a lot lighter. I like these. Oh, darn it. All right, well, that was not too good for my first ever frame of candlepin.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
You know what? I wish I could hit my
last second
no, I wish I
curve.
could hit my driver like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Boom. See, that's where you want that head pin.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's all right. Stay with us on Outside the Fame as we find out what it's like to get your number retired by the Red Sox as we wrap up our time with Hall of Famer Jim Rice.
Rips this ball left field, away back, and you can kiss this one goodbye. Jim Rice retired from baseball at the end of the 1989 season and moved on to be a hitting coach with the Red Sox organization for many years. He was nominated to the Baseball Hall of Fame for the first time in 1994, but did not get voted in until his 15th and final try in 2009.
Finally, I do mean finally, I am Jim Rice, called a Baseball Hall of Famer.
Jump ahead to another wonderful year for you after retirement, 2009.
Mm-hmm.
2009, Jim gets the call to the Hall of Fame. Just well-deserved.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what year it came in and how many times you have to go through the process, you got that call. Right? I mean, what was that like? I mean, sometimes year after year waiting and it doesn't happen, and then you maybe put it out of your mind every year that it comes up again. I don't know how you were working this out.
At that time, I was a soap opera buff. So at 12:30,
Listen, I watched The Young and Restless.
I'm
too.
not bothered. I'm not bothered. From 12:30 to 1:30, Young and the Restless. So don't bother me. And so I got the call from the hall
I love it.
at around that time, and Jeff was telling me that I have some good news and I have some bad news. I said, okay, Jeff. I said, give it to me. He said, the good news is that you're going to the Hall of Fame. The bad news.
Who cares about the bad news?
The bad news is that you got to be up here like day after tomorrow to go through this whole thing.
Right.
I said, okay, Jeff, I appreciate it. I'll call you back in a couple of minutes. I'm watching my soap opera. And that was, he said, okay.
Are you kidding me?
That was it.
Oh my gosh, that is great.
And here we are in 2009, and I'm standing amongst baseball elite in front of my family, friends, and fans, proudly accepting baseball pinnacle of professional achievement. I cannot think of anywhere I'd rather be than to be right here, right now, with you and you. Thank you.
So anyways, your speech was just incredible. To circle that back around to your speech. And that same year, a couple days later, the Red Sox retired your wonderful 14 number.
Without further ado, take it away, Johnny.
How special was that being honored by the Red Sox with your number being
Well, one thing
retired.
I didn't know I was good in the Hall of Fame. Another thing too, and equipment guy,
Okay.
Joe Cochran. Joe
Love
Cochran.
Joe.
Joe
Yeah.
Cochran. And so I'm like, Joe, why you didn't? I retired. I mean, I didn't know I was going to. Why you didn't give a number out? Joe said, because I like you. I'm not giving nobody that number.
Oh, really?
If you notice, nobody was wearing 21, even though Roger, 21, nobody was 21.
Right.
And so some of you wearing it now, but Joe said, I'm not giving it out.
I love how Joe had control of that.
Yeah,
That's very funny.
And how I got number 14, you used to go to spring training, and they just give you a number. And Vince Orlando gave me the number and sort of like stuck with me.
Also, you were involved with some inner city kids, and because of that, you have a field over in Roxbury with your name on it. I mean, that's got to make you proud to keep it at the young age, you know, to keep these kids going with baseball at a young age.
I haven't lately, but it was like every other year, or when I was just driving by, I used to go there and just sit at the field, but I sit on the other side of the field in my car. And they play games from sun up to sundown. And then I noticed, I've been down there, maybe 6 months. You can play baseball and you got a nice hotel right beside it.
So now you can watch from the hotel room instead of sitting on the field. Sense of pride for you to see your name on that field. That's a great field,
the
too.
field, and it's a pride to be able to see the kids play down there, and then the kids may actually one day walk into Fenway Park and look up and say, man, this is it, and be able to play in Fenway.
That ball hit hard and deep towards center field. Way back and gone.
That will wrap things up for Jim Rice and I here at the Apex Entertainment Center in Marlborough, Massachusetts. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to look out for your favorite New England sports heroes and I on the next episode of Outside the Fame. This episode of Outside the Fame is brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing, your lifetime roofing solution.